Good day, everyone. I am Angel Alipio, and today we will be discussing about processes in operating systems. First, we are going to discuss is ang first come, first serve. Ano nga ba ang first come, first serve? Ito yung pinakasimple na CPU scheduling algorithm. Dito, kung sino yung process na unang dumating sa ready queue, siya ang unang i-execute. Parang pila lang sa cashier or service counter. Kung sino yung una sa pila, siya yung unang aasikasuhin. Non-preventive din ito. Ibig sabihin kapag nagsimula ng isang process, tuloy-tuloy na yun hanggang matapos bago mapunta sa next process. Ang advantage nito ay madali itong i-implement at fair siya dahil walang nauuna. Pero ang disadvantage naman ay nagkakaroon na tinatawag na convoy effect kung saan kapag mahaba ang unang process, maghihintay ng matagal yung mga maikling process. Dahil dito, tumataas ang waiting time at bumababa ang efficiency ng system. Second naman, ang pangalawa kong i-explain ay ang shortest job first or OSJF. Ang scheduling algorithm na ito is kung saan pinipili yung process na may pinakamaikling execution time para mauna. Usually, non-preemptive din ito. Ibig sabihin, kapag napili na ang process, tatapusin mo na ito bago lumipat sa iba. Maganda ito kasi napapababa nito ang average waiting time at mas napapabilis overall performance ng system. Pero ang problema is dito ay mahirap malaman kung gaano katagal ang bawat process sa totoong system. Maaari itong magdulot ng starvation kung saan laging nauuna ang maikling process at masyadong natatagalan ang mahabang process.
Next is priority scheduling. Sa priority scheduling is para siyang pila na may priority lane. So, sa bawat process is may kanya-kanyang priority number. Pwede siyang preemptive kung saan kapag may dumating na process na mas mataas ang priority is pinapahinto niya yung current process, din ibibigay niya yung CPU sa mas mataas na priority. Second is non-preemptive kung saan is hinahayaan niya munang matapos yung current process bago pumunta sa susunod na mas mataas na priority. So next is round robin. Sa round robin naman is nagbibigay siya ng fair chances sa lahat ng process. So may tinatawag tayong time quantum. Ito yung fixed time na binibigay sa bawat process. Ang maganda sa round robin is walang starvation kasi paikot yung system niya. Ang problem naman sa round robin is yung quantum size. Mahirap siya i-balance kasi kapag masyadong malaki is maghihintay ng matagal yung ibang process. And kapag masyadong malit naman is ang daming context switching. Mapapagod yung system.
So next naman na pag-uusapan natin ay yung key concept ng CPU scheduling. So first, we have burst time. So burst time refers to the execution time of process or kung gaano kadagal itong tumatakbo sa CPU hanggang matapos ang task. Next is the waiting time. So waiting time is the duration na naghihintay ang process sa queue bago ito ma-execute ng CPU. Next naman is turnaround time. So turnaround time is the total time from arrival hanggang completion ng process, including waiting time and execution time. So yan yung formula niya. Oh. Turnaround time is equal to completion time is equal to arrive time. Pero pag walang arrive time, yung is magiging turnaround time is magiging equal siya sa completion time. Next naman is completion time. So completion time is the exact time kung kailan natapos ang execution ng process. Usually, nakikita ito at the end of the Gantt chart.
So next naman is yung response time. It is that time from arrival until first execution starts. Example yan is kapag nag-open ka ng app sa phone mo. Kunwari, in-open mo yung messenger. Tapos nag-open siya within 2 milliseconds. Ang response time nun is 2 milliseconds din. Ibig sabihin, kapag nag-open ka ng app tapos nag-open agad, yun yung time niya kapag nakapag-open ka na. Basta binibilang niya yung seconds kung ilang seconds siya nag-open. Next naman is throughput. Big sabihin naman ng throughput is kung ilang process ang natatapos ng system mo within the given time. Parang sukatan siya ng dami ng trabaho na natatapos. Kaya kapag mas marami ang natatapos na trabaho, mas nagiging efficient yung system na ginagamit mo. Next naman is yung
So ito, meron kaming example ng Gantt chart dito. So this is an example of Gantt chart using, we're gonna use CFS, yung sinabi ni Angel kanina, yung first come first serve scheduling. So dito, ang process ay naka-arrange based kung sino yung naunang dumating. So si P1 ang naunang dumating, so yung unang nag-rhyme. So time from 0 to 10, and then si P2 from 10 to 15, followed by P3 from 15 to 23, at si P4 from 23 to 29. So yung mga number diyan sa taas is represents sa completion time ng process. So from this Gantt chart, makukuha natin ang completion time ng bawat process, which is yung end time nila. Since all process arrive at 0, nakita naman natin na walang nakalagay dyan na arrive time. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, ang turnaround time ay equal siya sa completion time. Then, makukuha natin yung waiting time by subtracting the burst time from the turnaround time. So, example, ayan. Ayan, oh. So, yung P1, isa-subtract mo siya sa burst time niya. So, magiging 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. So, yung waiting time ng P1 is 0 since siya yung nauna. So, next, yung P2, tinan mo, 15, isa-subtract mo siya sa burst time niya is 5. So, ang magiging waiting time niya is 10. So, yun yung example namin sa Gantt chart. Next.
Next is multi-threading. So multi-threading is a concept in computer which single program or process is divided into multiple or smaller tasks. Ibig sabihin, ang multi-threading is running multiple threads inside one process. Ibig sabihin, si multi-threading is meron siyang kakayahan na gumawa ng maraming task ng sabay-sabay sa loob ng iisang process. For example, kapag gumagamit ka ng phone, habang nagchat-chat ka, tapos nakikinig ka ng music, tapos biglang may nag-notif, lahat yon nangyayari ng sabay-sabay dahil sa multi-threading. Next. So, process versus thread. So, unahin muna natin yung process. So, basically, yung process is a complete program that is currently running in the system. So, ano-ano nga ba yung mga characteristics ng process? So, si process, meron siyang own memory at resources, works independently, and heavier and uses more system resources. Sa thread naman, sabi dyan, a thread is the smaller unit of CPU execution within a process. So, ibig sabihin, si thread ay merong smaller unit of process. Ibig sabihin, si thread ay nasa loob ng isang process. So, every thread, meron silang pare-parehong memory at resources. So, bawat thread is may sarili-sariling task, parang multi-threading siya. So, kung meron silang sarili-sariling task, sabay-sabay din silang gumagana. At dahil same sila nung resources at may memory, mas mas lighter and mas faster silang gamitin.
Okay, next naman is yung benefits of multi-threading. First is responsive. Application remains responsive even when performing long-running tasks. It means na kahit na madami or mahaba yung task na niraran mo is gumagana pa din yung application. Hindi siya nagfi-freeze. Second is resource sharing. Threads within the same process share code data and file automatically. Meaning nag-share sila nag-share yung threads ng mga codes, data, files mas madali siyang mas madali mas madaling mag-share ng code data file gamit yung threads. Third naman is economy. Creating and managing threads is significantly faster and cheaper than process. Ibig sabihin, ang paggawa at pag-manage daw ng threads is mas mabilis at low cost kaysa sa process. Pang-apat naman is scalability or better CPU utilization. Multiple threads can run on multiple CPU cores simultaneously. Ibig sabihin, wala nang waiting time. Run na lang siya ng run ng ng mga task. And sobrang busy din ng threads. Dahil nga doon sa wala na siyang waiting time. And lastly is throughput. More work gets done in same amount of time. Dito naman is dahil nga doon sa wala ng waiting time is madami ng task ang natatapos sa parehong oras. Next naman is types of multithreading. First is many-to-one model. Many user threads map to one kernel thread. Makikita nyo dito sa slide na yung sa user space is yung threads and naka-ano lang siya sa iisang kernel. Kahit na madaming threads dyan, nakakonekta lang siya sa iisang kernel. Yun yung many-to-one model. Next is one-to-one model. Each user thread maps to one kernel threads. Makikita nyo sa slides na yung every thread sa user space is nakakonekta lang siya sa iisang kernel. Meron silang specific kernel bawat thread. And then last is many-to-many model. Many user threads multiplex over many kernel threads. Meaning meaning flexible siya. So kahit na madaming threads diyan, pwede mo siyang i-connect sa iba't ibang kernel. Na ganyan. Makikita niyo siya dito sa slide na yung thread 1 and 2 is naka-connect siya sa kernel 1. And then ganun din sa thread 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 naka-connect sila sa kernel 2 and 3. Next is hardware level multithreading techniques. Isa din to sa types ng multithreading. First, meron siyang tatlo. First is coarse grain multithreading. Switches trend only on long latency events. Meaning, kapag mahaba na yung task, nagsiswitch na siya ng threads. Nagsiswitch na siya ng iraran niya. Second is fine grain multithreading. Switches threads at every clock cycle, meaning continuously siya na nagsiswitch ng threads ng iraran niya na task. And mabilis din siya. Pangatlo and last is simultaneous multithreading or SMT. Multiple threads execute simultaneously on same core using unused execution unit. Meaning is kahit na maraming multiple threads ang nagra-run, maraming wait. Maraming threads ang nagra-run simultaneously sa iisang core. The OS sees multiple logical CPUs per physical cores. In simple explanation, one CPU core pretends to be two, doing two things at once by using either part of the chip. Ayan.
So, ito nga naman yung real-world example ng multithreading. Katulad nga na sinabi ni Roshan kanina sa phone. Ito naman, halimbawa ng multithreading is kapag gumagamit tayo ng browser like Chrome, habang naglo-load ka ng website, pwede ka ring manood ng video, mag-download ng file, at mag-open ng ibang tabs ng sabay-sabay. Ibig sabihin nito, maraming threads ang nagtatrabaho at each thread may sariling task na ginagawa para mas mabilis at mas smooth gamitin ng application. And that's the end of our report about processes in operating systems.